and I brought
Okay. What?
my guest guitarist back.
All right, good. That's nice. All right. I'm going to try to add try to add a couple people in here. The one ones I know that are available is Raka and a YR. I already messaged YR to see if he wants to come on the show again there. Good afternoon, everybody, or late afternoon. It's Arknolia and the Doctor, our 40th episode of our Music Memory series. And we are, of course, continuing our discussion on the 1970s music world there. We already discussed it, the individual artists who came from
Well, we got
bands.
lots more of them.
Yeah. We still got to get to the R&B stuff there with the individual artists like acts that kind of like the one-hit wonder stuff, like the love songs, the artists like Chris Ree, Barry Manilow, the Carpenters, the soft rock stuff there. We should definitely
Yeah,
touch up on that stuff because as of late I've been listening to a lot of that stuff for some reason, just because of all the intriguement around those songs. You can't help but wonder how that was arranged, the lyrical content, and everything else.
yeah. There's a lot of artistry winning those songs, whether or not you liked them or not.
Yeah, a lot of
There's
them.
still a lot of artistry.
Yeah, a lot of artistry. You read when you listen to the songs on YouTube, you read the comments underneath. They'll tell you right there. This was real music back then, not none of this auto tune crap that's still out there right now.
Yeah, and speaking of the Carpenters, I mean, who has a better voice than Karen Carpenter?
I couldn't agree more. She was a one top phenomenal singer there. And and also let me add this to say there was her 82 death that brought anorexia into the light.
Yep.
Now, because back then it was like a very quiet, touchy subject to discuss until her death. Just that's when this whole thing started rolling.
Yeah, and it always astounded me because she didn't look like she needed to lose weight to me.
I know, but then again, that's the kind of mentality that people put on girls nowadays. They must be thin, you must be this, you must be that. They do it in the fashion world, they do it in everywhere else. I mean, like, for instance, like, you remember what the flack that Tyra Banks got when she was photographed, with a little bit of weight on her?
Yeah,
And a lot of people they're just coming down on her because it's that public expectation that comes along with it when you're a celebrity. It's happened a few times with Axl Rose. It's happened a lot with Vince Neil of Motley Crue. They remember the Vince Neil from yesteryear when he was fit, trim, ready to rock out on the stage, and they see all of a sudden now they see this big beach ball with a big overweight T-shirt on it. And it's like it's like holy cow, what the fuck happened here?
it's just one of those things about getting old, I suppose.
I know, and but for people like myself, it kind of like makes me wonder. It causes me, to keep myself to watch what I eat and watch what I intake a lot of times because I've seen so many older people that I used to be thin back then be gaining a lot of weight. I guess it's part of the process of growing old, but at the same time, for people like me, after seeing people grow old, you develop all these problems, you develop all these issues here. It kind of makes you wonder, makes you wish you were not old.
Yeah, but it kind of happens to all of us,
I
you know what I
know
mean?
that's, I mean, unfortunately, I mean, you end up wearing your reading glasses sooner or later in your life. You end up, having to have dental work. A lot of issues here, whether it's type 1 or type 2 diabetes.
Yeah,
You know,
and your kidneys failing, so you have to have dialysis.
I know. Yeah, that's a bummer as well. I mean, remember Vanity, Denise Matthews, Prince's ex-girlfriend for Vanity 6.
Yeah,
She was on dialysis for a long periods of time. I'm not. I think it was in the around the 1990s she was going on that because all the amounts of drugs that she was doing during the 80s heyday.
yeah. Well, generally, once you go on dialysis, you're pretty much stuck there.
Wow. So it's a lifelong thing there.
Pretty much. I'm in my
Wow.
almost almost 4 years,
Wow.
third year,
Wow.
and
That's
that's what
something.
my surgery today was all about.
Yeah.
Was to not get too gross, They have to stick you with needles
Wow.
to pull your blood out and cleanse it, then put it back in. Now, obviously, you can't live without blood, so it's a
That's true,
process.
yes.
But at any rate, I went today because my old access in my left arm had quit working. So they had to put a temporary thing in my chest and put a new one in my right arm. So I had to get a new access in my right arm today.
I see there.
But it turned out okay.
That's good to hear, man. Because I thought at first you maybe needed a whole day to recover from a surgery. Because.
Well, I'm okay. I mean,
Hmm.
I'm still recovering, but it's not bad. And you got Casey as raw in your chat.
I see, Casey. Hey, want to call in the show, Casey? We like to welcome a lot of guests here.
Yeah, we're doing solo artists if you're interested.
And I'm not taking this call. It's from Florida. It's probably a scam ass call. I don't think so. Fuck you. You're gone. Bye. Yeah, I still
And
get.
we'll
I
start
go ahead there. Sorry, man.
we'll start this one off with kind of a bang. Because despite the fact that this guy was basically in groups for the most part, let's face it, he was the guy. And that would be Paul McCartney.
Oh yeah, two bands, the Beatles and Wings.
Yeah, and we'll cover the post Beatles stuff with him.
Yeah, and he's also considered the UK's most richest musician.
Not surprising.
Yeah, and not just and also not just because of his business dealings. He also owns his own catalog, by the way, for those who didn't know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it. The MPL Communications, I think it's called, that he did with Wings in his solo career. That's him. Because
yep.
remember he's been how many years unable to buy up the Beatles catalog, for throughout the most of the 80s there. Capitol Records just didn't want to let that go because that's their main bread bringer. What do you think about it?
Yeah. Yeah, it's not like they've had any other artist that's done that well.
Yeah.
But at any rate, my number 10 is coming up.
From 1980. Yeah, I remember I
Yeah.
first heard that song back in 1979. Now he performed that song at a thing called this a benefit concert over in England.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I forgot what it was called. The Rockestra, I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Um.
And the version I like is if you ever bought the album,
Yep.
they had a live version in there on a single.
Yes.
And that version is superior.
Yeah, I heard it many times. If you ever saw the video for that, you could see Paul and Linda dressed up as all these iconic other performers, posing as Jethro Tull's Ian Anderson, Frank Zappa, Sparks, that that Two Brothers group, I think it's called, had that one
Yeah,
song.
which was
Yes,
a bizarre group, but I
yeah,
liked them.
yeah. And there's a documentary on that group coming out pretty soon, believe it or
Yeah, the
not.
two brothers were so radically different on stage, it was unreal.
Well, shout out to YR in my chat. If you want to join the call, dude, I left a message for you, seeing you want to be a part of it.
And while we're waiting for his response,
Uh,
my number 9 song is Beware My Love.
mm, I think I heard
Jack
that
Lee
one.
is, it's on a McCartney album, but I don't think McCartney sings it.
Mm, somebody else does?
I
That's
believe so.
that's something interesting.
But it's a great song. My number 8 is Band on the Run,
Oh yeah, one.
which we know what that song's about.
Yep, absolutely.
Number 7, I got his Uncle Albert Admiral Halsey.
Oh yeah, that. Yes, I heard of. Yes, I remember that song. That was like a two-part. It was like a two songs in the mix into one there.
Yeah. My number 6 is Rock Show.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is 1985.
Mm-hmm. From the Band on the Run album, just as well.
Yeah. Number 4 is Maybe I'm Amazed, which That's a fantastic song.
It is still played to this very day. That's from the album simply called McCartney, which came out alongside the Let It Be album.
Yeah, yeah.
And apparently, what the story was is that John and George sent Ringo over to Paul's house and possibly asking him to push back the album for a little bit, for a long while, till after Let It Be comes out. Paul got upset and yelled at Ringo to get the F out of his house, kicking him out, and that was the end of the Beatles right there.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
Number 3 is a song called "Looking for Changes,"
Mm.
which is a
Wait a
animal
minute.
rights song, I guess you could call it.
And I think maybe YR or Casey calling on them. Tell you what, let me blah 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 blah. Let me. Dang gummit.
And my number 2
Yep.
is "Live and Let Die,"
Oh yeah, we know that
which,
song. We love
if you
that.
ever heard the version on Paul is Live, that is phenomenal, especially the fireworks.
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna add YR and Keith to the call there. There you go, guys. What's up?
Yo.
What's up, dude?
Hey,
Hey, Keith.
Can you
hey,
come
Doc.
to your room, please?
Okay.
I'm putting up your stream on my show so people can know to go over there. That
All
you're
right,
live.
nice. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I missed your thing. I just now called it. So.
All right, nice. Oh, it's good here. So what's up?
Finish up your list because I want to get into the or not. I'm not.
Well, no.
Continue on with the list. I mean, because I want to get into that Megadeth stuff.
All
That's
right,
big
definitely.
news.
We'll definitely get to that after we're done with here. And we got Arky back now. I added him to the call. My Skype is
Arknolia, what's the theme for the list this week?
We're still on solo artists.
Of the 70s?
yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
fixing to do my number 1 for Paul McCartney.
Oh, all right. Go ahead.
My number 1 by him was "Let Me Roll It." That song to me is phenomenal.
Yes, I mean and that's also from Band on the Run just as well, if I'm correct.
Is that about a bloke?
I believe so.
Okay.
You also cannot forget silly love songs there.
Well, there's a bunch of songs I didn't have on the list that I
I know
like.
that's one of the prime reasons why it's hard for me to do lists, man.
Well, there was, let's see, "Another Day," "Getting Closer," "Old Siam Sir,"
Oh yeah.
"Arrow Through Me,"
Hmm.
"Lonely Night," "London Town," "With a Little Luck."
Oh yeah, great song
I mean,
there.
I can go, I
Listen to
can go
what the
on and on.
man
Too many people.
listen to what the man said. That's a good
Yeah,
one there.
yeah. I mean, ton of it, but I didn't want to go all day on Paul McCartney. Although it would be easy to do.
Yeah, it would. It'd be a lot more live to do because interesting to do because he's got so many good ones out there. Now, what about the 80?
Okay,
What
now
about? Oh no, go ahead.
uh, the 4 Beatles, their solo careers.
Yes.
Okay, there's 2 different questions here. One is "Lonely Night." Who was the most popular, which is easy, and the second
Paul.
was who was the most impactful.
I think they're probably.
John Lennon, huh?
What up?
Like impactful in what way, on the music or like the culture of that?
Well, a lot of who had the biggest impact, and I agree with what you just said.
John
Something like
Lennon.
John, the culture, and then on the music, Paul, because obviously he had the best solo career.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. I mean, what he merging from this influential, successful group into another successful group, morphing it into his own, and it was interesting thing to do,
yeah, and it's we don't want to forget the other 2 because they George and Ringo both had stuff,
Yeah,
and actually
that's
George
true.
had a pretty good catalog too.
Absolutely. So
Or and then the Traveling Wilburys with George Harrison as well. That was an all-star band. I mean, not an
yeah, it
all-star, but
was, yeah.
and it was an all-star group. It was like a major. What do you
It's
call
kind
the
of a
group?
super
Called
group.
Super group.
Super
That's what
group.
they're
Yeah.
called. Yes.
Tom Petty, Roy
Tom,
Orbison.
Jeff
Bob
Lynne
Dylan.
and Bob Dylan as well.
That was good. They only had came out. They only had one album,
Well,
right?
they
Or
actually had two albums. They
Yeah,
had Volume One, and they later had Volume Three a couple years after Roy Orbison passed away. It was a four-piece,
I think my favorite by them was "Handled with Care." That is a great song.
which often still gets played on the often the supermarket radios when you think about it, and a lot of times on classic rock stations there.
Yeah, and then despite the fact his catalog is small, Ringo had some pretty good stuff.
Yeah, he
yeah,
did.
It don't come easy.
Yes, remember that song.
That's probably his biggest.
You're 16, which I understand was a cover
Yeah.
tune.
Yes, it was.
The No No song there.
Yeah. And I think Hoyt Axton wrote that one
Yeah.
because Ringo didn't do much writing.
Yeah, that's true. He wasn't that much of a writer. I think only one
Ring-
we know of that really contributed to writing skills was on the White Album, the song "Don't Pass Me By."
Yeah.
Ringo Starr, All-Star Band.
All Star Band. Yeah.
You ever saw
Good.
it? Did anybody ever see that when he went toward the yearly with that? Because he would have all these all stars within his lineup. He would have Peter Frampton, Greg Lake, rest in peace. He would also have many others
Paul,
as well.
didn't he have Paul Schaefer on there?
What
The
up?
drummer. One of those celebrity drummers for the Tonight Show, I believe, was he has like a couple drum sets up there or something too, right?
Well, the only one celebrity late night drummers I would know of would probably be Anton Fig from David Letterman and Max Weinberg and as well, who also
Yeah,
plays with Springsteen.
Weinberg, I
Of
think
course, that would be the only two that I
Weinberg.
know of.
Max Weinberg. Yeah, see, I think he's in the
hmm
All Star.
Yeah, I think he toured with them at one point. It's hard to keep track. So many of them had toured with Ringo.
Yeah. His All Star band changes a lot.
I think he also had Billy Squire in there for a while, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. That was a guy that was having a great career, and one video killed it.
I know, I heard about that as well. It's like, holy fuck, it's just, it's kind of cheesy, but it's kind of gayish in a way when you watch the original video there.
Yeah.
And
And
the
it's a
video,
shame
and the
'cause he
video,
had some great stuff.
absolutely. The album Enough Is Enough from 1986, personal, one of my absolute favorites from him. The whole
I
album
like.
in general.
I don't remember if it was the first one or the second one, but I liked the one with I think it was "Don't Say No," which had the hit.
The Stroke.
Well, yeah, but I was thinking the other song.
Let's see. In the Dark.
Yeah, "In the Dark."
Yep, that's Don't Say No. That was one of the big records around that year. Almost every lot of songs were played on that, on the old MTV and on the radio at that time as well.
Of course, we'll get to him in the '80s.
Yeah, absolutely.
And on McCartney, we're going to make a huge jump.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be another Paul, but it'll be Paul Simon.
That's right. He had some good. He had some interesting stuff in the '70s after his split with Art Garfunkel. There, no doubt.
Yeah. My number 10 by him is "Gone at Last." My number 9 is "Love Me Like a Rock."
Ah, nice.
My number 8 is "Me and Julio Down by the Schoolyard,"
Ah.
which I'm not real sure what that song's about, but hey,
But I remember
okay.
there was a video for that song promoted on the VH1 channel, if I guess for this box set, doc that he had just put out at that time, I believe.
Yeah.
Fuck. Well, what
Yeah.
year is it? Is it early '70s for
Mainly the 70s.
All together
And-
from the start to finish there.
Now, we'll dabble into the 80s occasionally on some of these guys, but
Yeah.
I'm trying to keep it 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
My number 7 is "Late in the Evening."
Yep. Great
My
song
number
there.
6 is actually a reunion with Art the
Art
other guy.
Art Garfunkel.
My Little Town.
Ah.
And my number 5, I can't read. Let me try again. "One man's ceiling is another man's floor."
Interesting. Interesting title there.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get. I like songs like that. I don't know why.
Yeah. Probably because of the
But
title, it lures you in to see what it's about there.
it's a pretty neat little song, actually.
Yeah.
Number 4 is Still Crazy After All These Years.
Mm-hmm.
I can relate to that one.
Yep.
Number 3 is Mother and Child Reunion.
Nice.
Number 2 is Kodachrome. And my number 1 by Paul Simon, Slip Sliding Away.
Interesting.
That's a nice little song too.
Yeah. Here's an
Who had the
interesting.
better?
Here's an interesting fact you may not have known. You remember an album from '84 he put out called Hearts and Bones? That originally,
Uh,
that
yeah.
originally, for what I read, was supposed to have been a Simon and Garfunkel reunion album. But I don't know,
Oh,
for some reason, Simon removed all of Art's vocals from that album there for some reason. I don't know if it was falling out or something like that, or something, or we don't know.
let's see. Now we're going to jump to the other spectrum again.
Yep.
And this guy was tough because, well, he's basically a solo artist, but
Yep.
he he's been so many places, so many things. Who knows? Neil Young.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. He's done a lot. He's definitely trenched over a lot of genres, especially in the '80s. There, when you think about it.
Yeah, I put him. I, I did 15 on him because it's pretty hard to not do 15, and obviously I left stuff he did with other people. Well, when I say with other people, I mean the obvious group stuff. There's no CSNY, anything of that nature.
Yeah.
Okay, my number 5 in his 15 in his solo career was "See the Sky About to Rain."
Hmm.
My number 14 was "Old Man."
Oh yeah.
That
Still,
is a good song.
that is still played today on classic rock stations when you think about it. There.
Number 13, I've got his "Words Between the Lines of Ages."
Mm.
My number 12 is "Heart of Gold." My 11 is "After the Gold Rush," which is an interesting song.
Oh yeah. Title cut from
Yeah,
the title cut of the album there.
yeah, and there's a group called Prelude that did a cappella version of that song that's
Mm.
fantastic.
All right.
Number 10, "The Needle and the Damage Done,"
Which
which is,
which was written about one of his Crazy Horse bandmates ODing on heroin.
yeah. My number 9 is a song you possibly have not heard. It's called "Last Dance."
Mm.
It's on the
Oh,
Time Fades Away.
Hmm?
Say it again.
Is the artist Neil Young?
Yeah,
Yes, absolutely.
it's called "Last Dance," and it's on his "Time Fades Away" album.
Ah.
My number 8 is, uh, gee, I don't know how to say this without uh, fucking
Without
up.
messing up the title there.
Well, no, it's one of those kind of titles.
Ah, I
A
see.
song called "Fucking Up."
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, I remember hearing about that song, man.
It's a great song.
It is, yeah. Oh my god. And that came out in the 90s, believe it or not.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Well, Young spans a long time.
Oh man, I remember the period around when the grunge alternative scene was really moving. All these grunge artists were looking up to Neil Young as like their god,
Especially
because
Pearl Jam.
yeah, absolutely. Remember they did an album together called Mirror Ball.
Yeah. And my number 7 is My Hey Hey, the rock version.
Oh yeah,
Because he
from
also
Russ.
does acoustic with Hey Hey My.
Yes, I think it's about it's Hey Hey My Rock and Roll Will Never Die. My Hey Hey Rock and Roll is Here to Stay. The acoustic version is the second one I mentioned there. And who cannot agree that song kicks total ass, especially to get sound of that guitar. I tried many times to get that duplicate. I would try many times to duplicate that sound on my old cheap amplifier guitar there. You know, I still wouldn't know how he did it because he made it had this massive, rusting, dirty, massive, grungy sound that he had on that
which
particular.
is what made it cool.
Absolutely,
And my number 6 is a jump because this guy covered a lot of genres.
he did.
There's a song called Sample and Hold.
Oh yeah, Trans, the album.
Yeah, I don't know why, but that song really appeals to me.
You check out the live version recorded from Berlin in '82. There's a live
Oh, yeah.
version. Yes, that was a lot more better. I heard the original, the album version is pretty good there. And by the way, you got to give him, as we know, a lot of credit for. I guess what that album, Trans, was inspired by his son. Using this electronic device to communicate, for I understand it. That's where he got the idea. And plus, you got to remember the scene that the '80s was changing over, so he had to kind of like
Right.
get in with touch with the new genres, the new scene at that time.
Yeah, and I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the video you were talking about,
Yeah,
the guitarist was Nils Lofgren.
yeah. The other guy that he co-shares computerized vocals with, vocoder vocals, I could say.
Yeah. Okay, and then my number 5 song is his cover of On Broadway.
Mm.
Really great version.
Mm.
And let's see, number 4, you're on here somewhere. Oh, there you are. Like a Hurricane.
Oh yeah, which Roxy Music covered years later on throughout the '80s there.
Yeah. And my number 3, Down by the River.
Mm.
Number 2 is Rockin' in the Free World.
Oh yeah.
And my number 1, when it came out, and it'll probably always be my number 1 by him, is Cinnamon Girl.
Oh yeah, we know that song pretty well.
Because that one is just, to me, is just a burner.
It is.
It's a great song.
It is.
But there's a lot of Neil Young that I obviously didn't mention, but holy cow, I mean, really. You can take the almost entire After the Gold Rush album. He also is the guy that wrote Love is a Rose.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
He also wrote A Lot of Love, which later got covered by Nicolette Larson.
yeah. And he had The Loner, which was a great song.
Yep, as well.
Last Trip to Tulsa, which was an interesting song.
Yep.
And then, of course, his supposed feud with Leonard Skinner. You had Alabama Southern Man. And after they did Sweet Home Alabama, he did a song called Walk On, which is an answer to the answer to the answer.
Oh, yeah.
And it turns out when you read about it, they were actually pretty decent friends with each other.
Wow.
They,
so they made
it
this
doesn't
little feud
sound
up.
like it, but well, they didn't make the feud up. It started that way, and then Neil Young was kind of like, "Oh, I think I goofed," and he talked to him, and they said, "Hey, Neil, we respect you and all, but you don't need to be talking about us Southern boys. We're not all like that." And he said, "You know what? I'm wrong," and basically they became friends.
Yeah, that's good to hear because I always wondered about that particular lyric in that song. I was like, are they taking shots at Neil? Because I figured it had to be because of the Southern Man song there.
Pretty much, but again, like I said, after they talked it out and all, Neil was kind of like, I was wrong. These guys are good.
Yeah,
I like them.
that's good. Too bad they could have shared the stage together at one point.
Oh, I think they eventually would have.
Yeah, would have. Yeah. In fact, in the sense of, but however, it would be a sense to have Neil Young make an appearance with the today's Leonard Skinner. But
No,
however,
that wouldn't do it. It had to be Ronnie Van Zant.
yeah, it's absolutely because and sadly Ronnie is no longer with us since '77. There.
Right.
Yeah.
Let's take another leap
Mm-hmm.
from Neil Young to Gordon Lightfoot.
Oh yeah. There's
Of
a
course,
few
they're both
songs he came
Canadian.
up. Yep.
I got a top 10 with him, and it's kind of tough to hold it to that. But my number 10 by him is Canadian Railroad Trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
My number 9 is Sundown.
Yep.
Number
Yes.
number 8 is Early Morning Rain, which Peter Paul and Mary did a cover of.
Uh-huh.
My number 7 is Beautiful.
Ah.
My number 6 is For Loving Me, which, again, that was covered by Peter Paul and Mary.
Ah.
A lot of his stuff was kind of covered, or
There was a dance cover I remember it was in by a group of female dance artists there, a couple I forgot there, but they did there. It's like a dance version of If You Could Read My Mind, and that was supposed to go along with the movie 54, which was about Studio 54.
yeah. My number 5 is a song called Circle is Small. Again, a lot of times when I do these lists, I'm going to say songs that a lot of people haven't heard,
Mm-hmm.
but it's basically a suggestion.
Yeah, we suggest you listen to these tracks and give your ideas on it.
Okay, my number 4 was Did She Mention My Name?
Yep.
My number 3 is Endless Wire.
Mm.
And my number 2 is If You Could Read My Mind.
Yep, as we mentioned there. Good song there.
Okay, my number 1 should be pretty easy to figure out.
Yeah, we all know, and I think I know which one you're talking about.
Wreck of the Edmund
Oh my
Fitzgerald.
gosh. When I first heard that song, I was like, wow, amazed about the story behind it. It was based on a true story there.
Yes, that's a massively powerful song.
And it's a sad part of Michigan history when you look at it, man. It was.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that
Can
where he's? Is that where he's? Vince it's Neil's from.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
Neil Young's from.
No, no, it's not. It's not. No, you're talking about
He's
the
not
Edmund.
from Michigan.
Yeah, no, no, no. Gordon Lightfoot is from Canada. He wrote the Edmund Fitzgerald song was a. It's a tragic story about the Edmund Fitzgerald ship, who sank during a massive storm in 1974, killing all 29 men aboard.
Yeah, if you want to hear a song that'll tug at your heartstrings, make you emotional, that one will do it.
It is.
Can I sing my favorite song of the 70s?
Yeah, go ahead, Keith. What's up? What do you got?
Nana Nana, hey hey hey, goodbye.
I think that's from the 60s.
No,
Yeah.
it's the early 70s.
Who is it by? Who sings it?
Good question. Because I know it's
Steve.
still. Go ahead.
Steam.
Steam,
Oh,
the
yeah.
band Steam.
And I know the chorus is cliche among people, but if you listen to the song from beginning to end, it's a pretty good song.
Yeah, it is.
And you know what? It's a lot more popular now because whenever a wrestler gets booted out of the ring there, when it's various WWE shows, the fans all sing that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actually in baseball games when the reliever gets bombed
Yep.
and the manager comes to remove him, that song gets belted too.
No doubt about
Yep.
that. Definitely.
I'm not even talking about that. I'm talking like if you just listen to the whole song on YouTube, it sounds pretty good.
Yeah, yeah, it's a good song.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dr. Brown, can you ban locking me up in the chat? It's probably, I think it's Scott.
Oh my gosh.
Scott Attendance.
Okay. Oh gosh. Scunty McCrunty is in the building here, and which we will remove. Bye, sucker. And he is gone.
I think it came out in 1972.
Is that true, Ark?
I'd have to look it up, but I thought it was a 60s song.
I thought so
I'll look
as
it
well.
up right now.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yeah, the Steam did it, but other people did too.
Oh, well, absolutely. They're probably, like I said, probably the most frequent.
Oh,
Go
it
ahead.
says 19. It says 1969.
Ah, we were right.
Yeah.
Yep. Came out
Was it
during
Steam?
Steam.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. Point for me.
All right.
Yep.
American Pop. Here it is. Yep, it is the band Steam. They're known for it by their song "Na Na Hey Hey Kiss 'Em Goodbye." The song was written and recorded by It was blah blah.
I
But the song
believe
was,
that's a one-hit wonder too.
I believe so. Yes, the band was attributed to the band. The single was attributed to the band Steam, though at the time there was no actual band of that name. You know, a
Bunch
couple.
of studio guys.
Yeah, that's what it was. It
Oh.
just came out of the blue and just boom.
All right.
Hmm.
So Keith, you took a shit. It was Saw Stool.
Yes.
Oh my
Interesting.
gosh.
I mean, that's usually it's hard stool, Dr. Brown. So,
That's some hard shit to deal with.
so Seb, go ahead.
Okay, we're gonna jump to Gino Vanelli.
Oh my gosh, you got to get this man. He was like one of the. I remember one of the teacher.
Oh, he kind of goes into the 80s, but I think he got to start in the 70s.
He did, yeah. He had a couple hits in the 1980s there. Black Cars and It Hurts to Be in Love, which is a pretty good song. I guess he's from Canada as well.
And I believe that's a cover of a Gene Pitney song.
Mm. Which one? Black Cars?
No, It Hurts to Be in Love. Now, Gene Pitney did a version of that song, but to be honest, I don't know if it's the same or not because I'm not familiar with the song. But my number 10 by him is a song called Mardi Gras.
Ah.
My number 9 is Jack Miraculous.
Mm.
Number 8, I Just Want to Stop. Let me know if you've heard of any of these.
Oh, yeah, I Just Want to Stop. Absolutely. I remember you know what? One of my old teachers from the school I used to go to, I guess it was called Robinwood. She was bragging about Gino Vanelli's chest hair a lot of times.
Yeah. My number 8 was that's number 7.
Wait, is that the one? Is that the one where it goes, I just want to stop and thank you, babe?
Yes, absolutely.
Right.
Yes,
Great
Keith,
song.
what?
Great song.
Wow. What year is that on?
Yeah, I believe it was in
yeah.
1978, if I remember. That's when I first heard of it.
Yeah. My number 7 is a song you did called Mama Coco.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, great one.
My number 6 is Son of a New York Gun. Number 5, I think, was his biggest hit.
Son of a Negro.
Yeah. People Gotta Move.
Mm-hmm.
My number 4 is A New Fix for 76. Number 3 is Carnal Question, which is another one of those anti-war songs.
Ah.
And number 2, this might have been the biggest hit, Love of My Life.
Ah.
And my number 1 is Beautiful People.
Ah. I remember hearing about that song many years back there.
Yes. Not a lot of material for me to cover, but it was there.
All right.
But he was an interesting artist.
He was very interesting. He had this massive fro. You know, he sang a lot of. He had an awesome voice. You know, I believe he still does. You know, I guess he still does shows here and there. I guess for what I understand, he did a performance at the place Dozy Do a couple of years ago, which is a small little venue there.
He was a keyboard guy.
Yeah. Mm. And when you, like I said, you know, had that a couple of great songs there. Which, to this day, you know, there was this jazz station back in the southeast area of Detroit. They would play "I Just Want to Stop" a lot of times. You know.
Yeah.
Because it is
that
a
was
great.
Probably his biggest stage.
That was one of the best. In fact, when I first started listening to the radio, along with Fat Bottom Girls, Hold the Line by Toto, that was one of the songs included there, the songs I was picking up around that period there. This was back in 1978.
Yeah.
I just want to stop. Oh yeah, I was about to say that.
Yeah.
1978.
Yeah, that was a great song.
Yeah. Another great song around that same year was by Chris Ree's Fool If You Think It's Over.
Yeah.
I was
One hit
listening.
wonder.
Yeah, I was listening to that song a couple times, last night before I went to bed.
Yeah, we could do a whole series on one hit wonders.
Absolutely, we got to sometime soon there. I still also want to get in touch with Dave Rose, do a special on Canadian artists, bands and performers there.
Rush,
Rush,
UFO.
Well, UFO's from England.
Are they?
Well, you got
Yeah, they were.
Rush, you got Triumph,
Yep.
you got
Max
the
Webster,
Guess Who,
the Guess Who, Kim Mitchell, Saga,
Bachman Turner Overdrive,
Gordon Lightfoot, who we mentioned earlier,
Neil Young.
Gorguts. The band Gorguts.
Gorguts.
Atlanta's.
Are they
Have
from?
you heard of Gorguts?
I heard the name a couple of times, so I haven't really listened to their music there.
The young guy in the band looks like Dave Rose.
Oh.
Chilliwack.
Chilliwack. I remember that couple of that song, Gone, Gone, Gone. I remember the video
Yep.
for that there.
Yeah.
The band
Great song.
Toronto. We got to give them acknowledgement. They had the song called Your Daddy Don't Know from 1982, and they originally did the song What About Love, which Heart would later cover a couple years later in 1985,
Yeah.
would become a big hit.
Massive by then.
Yeah. So no doubt the members of Toronto were earning big bucks when Cart's cover made it big in that year.
Yeah. What was that?
Oh, what was what?
I keep hearing.
That's YR putting in one of the members of Gorguts there, and kind of does look like Dave Rose a little bit, but with a lot more massive hair, glasses included
Right.
there. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
He looks like him, right? From
he
like,
does.
Yeah.
But with all that,
So Dave Rose used to have that hair.
yeah, I remember.
Dave Rose monetizes 55. You know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he had all that massive hair. In fact, when I first when I first came into this community, when you may remember on this other program which Ken was co-hosting, Joe Cronin calls in saying, "I want to talk to Dave." Dave, huh? Dave. It's like, yeah,
Dave's not here.
Dave. We remember that one.
Yeah.
And I said, no, he calls himself Earl, but I know that's you, Dave. Because I resembled him in a lot of ways. You remember S.C. Steve kept calling me Dave Rose a few times.
We know you as Doctor.
Yep. Dr. Rose a few times as well. He would do that.
JB from Grandma's Boy.
Mm-hmm.
Yo, did you catch that? Quick sidebar. Did you
Yeah.
catch the Joe Cronin upload on the commentating? The heel
I did listen to a little bit earlier today there.
Well, towards the end, it's him and JB commentating. So I'm wondering if that's new or if that's just an old thing he put up there.
Mm.
Well, no, they had an old one, but I haven't even seen it, so I don't know. I don't know.
Who's next on the list?
I got Kenny Loggins.
Ah.
I know one song from him, The Joker.
That's Steve
No,
Miller.
that's Steve Miller.
That's Steve
Oh.
Miller, dude.
And we won't cover him as a solo artist because that's just the name of the band.
Mm-hmm.
But we will cover him. Okay, as I name these songs, you possibly have heard of some of them.
Mm-hmm.
Number 10 I got is What a Fool Believes.
Which he co-wrote with Michael McDonald.
Yeah,
And the
And
Doobie Brothers would make it to a big hit there.
yeah. My number 9 is Danger Zone, which is from,
Top Gun,
Top
the
Gun.
movie.
yeah. Number 8 is Footloose, which is from Footloose.
The movie of the same name.
Number 5 is, I'm sorry, number 7 is Keep the Fire Burning.
Yep.
Number 6 I got is I'm All Right from Caddyshack.
Oh
Kevin
yeah.
Bacon.
Yeah, and now how many songs have you heard by Kenny Loggins? I bet the list has gone up. And number 5 is This Is It, which is also from a movie, I believe.
Not really. I think it was just a regular song there from the album, this to Keep the Fire album there. If I remember, that's the first time I heard of him. That, by the way, also featured Michael McDonald on backup vocals.
Yeah, my number 4 is I Believe in Love. Number 3 is Celebrate Me Home.
Yeah.
And I love you, Keith, home world.
Roadhouse. Wait, I found. Oh, it's Kenny Rogers, the gambler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
Oh, you're talking about Kenny Loggins right now, right?
He is.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
Number 2 is a song you did with Stevie Nicks, Whenever I Call You Friend.
Yeah, which was played a lot of times on radio.
And my number 1 is Lady Luck.
I'm surprised. What's that one? It came out in 1985. Let me look it up there. List of Kenny Loggins.
I got a list.
All right, let me know. There's this one song I remember hearing called, let's see, what the fuck, dude? Let's see here. He's still around, He records, I guess he did a song with Olivia Newton-John not too long ago. His earlier songs were recorded by the Nitty Gritty Dirt Band in 1970.
Julia Cooper is his wife.
All right. I'm looking at one of
He
his
was
albums.
in the band The Electric Prunes.
Okay, that I didn't know.
No, I know. I found
He's
that
still
song.
touring live today.
Yeah. It's the song I'm looking for was called "Love Will Follow." It came out in 19. A great song. A lot that Pillow Talk program I talked about that plays a lot of love ballads around 7 to midnight. They still play that song occasionally.
Wow.
Steve Worry is an asshole. Journey is better off without him.
What? Who? What? Huh?
Steve Worry is an asshole.
Steve? You mean Steve Perry?
Yeah.
Yeah, Steve Perry.
Yeah.
Well, Journey, their biggest years were with Perry as the vocalist.
That's true as well.
But they covered covered him well.
Yeah, the guys who are the two guys, Steve Algini and this this Filipino guy whose name escapes me.
Yeah, I mean they did a good job.
Lots of ladies in the 80s. Kenny has a good voice and good at guitar.
And by the way, definitely mention that no doubt Don't Stop Believin' being used in The Sopranos definitely kind of rebooted their career there.
What,
yeah, pretty much.
Do you remember real quick?
Neil Sean?
Neil Sean? Yes,
Yes.
a guitar player, yes.
Yeah.
The ladies loved Kenny. It was crazy.
Yeah.
They were crazy for him, Kenny Loggins. What guitar did he use?
It's just a usually acoustic and electric. Yeah, that's about it. I'm not too sure what brand.
Yeah. And we'll do Kenny Loggins again when we do Loggins and Messina.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also known as the king of the movie soundtracks.
Oh yeah, he did a lot. Well,
lots
half
of
the
them.
songs I mentioned.
Yeah.
Were from movies.
Yeah, absolutely there.
Okay, the next one I'm going to move to is probably a guy you've heard of.
Yep.
John.
Hold on. Fender Strat. Telecaster Electric for Kenny.
Wow.
That's what he used. And then a Martin.
Yeah, Martin acoustic guitars.
Hmm.
Who's the next artist?
A guy you probably heard of, John Lennon.
Oh yeah, the outspoken Beatle.
Yeah. Um, who I wonder just how far he would have gone had he not been tragically cut down,
I
because that
know.
guy was on a roll.
He was. He had just released a Double Fantasy, his first album in 5 years. He was on a new label called Geffen, headed by Devin Geffen, the same guy who started Asylum Records years before for the Eagles, Jackson Brown, Carly Simon. Well, Carly Simon was on Elektra, which helped distributed Asylum Records there. Warren
Yeah.
Zevon was on Asylum just as well.
Yeah.
Yoko Ono supported Nam. Lennon was killed by a crazy fan. The crazy fan reminds me of Scott Psycho.
I know, yeah, and Yig has said it best. These godforsaken trolls in my chat. Probably Scott starting his bullshit there.
Yep. I know one song, Imagine.
Well, yeah.
Well, there's lots more, man.
We'll get to
Okay.
that. My number 10 is Whatever Gets You Through the Night.
Which was done with which a duet with Elton John.
Yeah. And number 9 I've got is Nobody Told Me There'd Be Days Like These.
Yep, from that album Milk and Honey, which came out a couple years after his death. That was supposed to have been the sequel to Double Fantasy.
Yeah. And my number 8 is How Do You Sleep, which is his dig at Paul McCartney.
Yep, and the story behind that, I guess George and Ringo were playing along with that track. I guess it was either Ringo or George saying, "John, that's enough, okay? Let it go, all right?"
Yeah. Good song, though.
It is, you know. In fact, but there was a dig. He took another dig at Paul McCartney. Because you remember, Paul McCartney had an album called Ram, in which he was holding the horns of a ram. And there was this photo that came out of Lennon holding the horns of, I guess, of a sheep, I guess it was, or a goat.
Yeah. And my number 7 I got is Watching the Wheels.
Oh, yeah, from a Double Fantasy as well.
My number 6 is Instant Karma.
Yep. Still played on the radio to this very day.
Yep. My number 5 is Happy Christmas, the War is Over.
Oh, which we all know which season that gets played, man. I'm losing my tongue. I'm getting tongue tied here. Which gets played a lot during Christmas season, as always, and there's lots of other covers of that being as well, including Melissa Etheridge at one point.
Do you guys think John Lennon was a liberal?
Oh, to some degree.
He was, yeah, because he was anti-Nixon. That's for sure there.
My number 4 is Mind Games.
Yep. If you ever saw the official video for that song, it has footage of John Lennon walking around in the New York City there. Everybody running to him, getting autographs, That video alone shows how much Lennon loved New York and how New York loved him back.
Basically, it was his home at his last years of his life.
Yeah, he loved it. He said there's a detail in a few interviews that he loved New York City. He could do lots more that he was unable to do back in England.
Yeah. My number 3 is number 9, Dream.
Good song there from the Wall and Bridges album from 1974.
My number 2 is Mother, which that's one of those songs when you listen to it'll tug because it's kind of a
personal.
It's very personal.
The whole album it came from is personal. It was called John Lennon / Plastic Ono Band. The content of that album was farly different than what the Beatles stood for. That was for sure, because this was one of his darkest albums.
Yeah, I mean, when you hear "Mother, You Had Me, But I Didn't Have You,"
Yeah.
And you can hear the
pain,
emotion and pain in his voice when he's singing that song.
Yes.
Especially when he gets into it later.
Yes, towards the end there. And the guy's apparently what it was that he was involved in a therapy called the primal screen therapy, which patients, describe, and talk about whatever traumatic experiences they would that affected them, and the response would be a loud scream.
Yeah.
And the guy who
And
I
my
forgot the name of the doctor who came up with this theory, but he did write a book about this method. And guess what? The title was the book was Tears for Fears,
huh,
which the '80s band
interesting.
would get, which would the '80s band of the same name would get their name from.
Yeah. And my number one should be easy to figure out.
Yep.
Imagine.
Oh yeah.
That's a hard song to top.
No, it is.
But that's definitely another good one.
And Scott, I know it's you in my chat. Get the fuck out of here. You're not welcome here. See ya. Don't want to be ya.
That's right.
Because he's going trolling over the shit here. I know if he's doing that either you got cats chats.
Yeah, like crazy. That's why we have mods and shit. Do you have any mods?
Oh, I usually
Scott,
have
go commit suicide.
Yo, do you want to make Keith or YR a mod?
Well,
Or
I
Dave?
have Minnesota Vikings. He's in the chat. But he hasn't been doing that. He's live right now on this channel. He's either that or premiering something there right now as we speak. So right now, and then plus, I've been doing a lot of moderating, which I don't really mind at all. I'm looking at it right now, and the shit and the titles he's been coming up with is just, oh gosh, idiot, right?
Okay.
You said it best. Scott is attacking Shannon, Ken's wife, so Ken will attack his sister so she can take his side against us.
I
Yep.
didn't know there's any for or against, but hey. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my next guy
Mm-hmm.
is another guy you possibly heard of. Phil Collins.
Oh my goodness, yeah. Definitely got to give him credit. Massive amounts of credit.
In my humble opinion, lesser Genesis singer.
Yeah.
I know 2 songs from Phil Collins.
Really?
Okay, as I name them, I'm betting you it'll go up.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Number 10 I got is One More Night. Number 9 I got is I Don't Want to Know. No, I'm
Good
sorry.
song. Good song there.
My number 9 is You Can't Hurry Love.
The Supremes cover.
Right. My number 8 is I Don't Want to Know.
In fact, the whole album, No Jacket Required, is pretty damn good as well.
Yeah.
Very good
My
there.
number 7 is Don't Lose My Number.
Mm-hmm. For the album, the same name.
My number 6 is The Studio.
Mm-hmm.
My number 5 is I Missed Again.
Mm-hmm.
And my number 4 is another cover, A Groovy Kind of Love.
From 1988.
I know that one.
Yeah, that was for a movie he did in the UK called Buster.
Yeah, that song is a cover of a song by the Mindbenders from the 70s.
Yeah.
That's the one I know.
Yep.
Which is a great song. My number 3 by him is his cover of the Beatles song Tomorrow Never Knows.
Which is on face value, the last track of the album there.
Yeah. My number 2 is I Don't Care Anymore.
Yep.
And the number 1 song is pretty easy to pick out. In the Air Tonight.
Oh yeah, which you remember in our conversations before was used in a couple beer commercials and the Miami Vice show back in the day. Yep. And it's just really boggles me, that a song about his divorce, which was going on at that time, would later be suitable for a beer commercial.
Yeah, and that song has that little iconic drum bit about 3/4 of the way through.
Yes, it is.
Everybody knows that.
Absolutely.
Why isn't "Take Me Home" on your list?
Missed it, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh,
And it was
that would
it,
be
Oh,
my number one.
it fits to say that that album that some of the songs that he wrote during his early sections of his solo career was filled. A lot of his love songs were filled with a lot of anger and a lot of upset because at the time, as I mentioned, he was going through his divorce. His wife got sick of him being on the road all the time. She decided to leave, go to Vancouver. He decides to move in with her, try to work things out, which eventually didn't work out. I mean, songs like "Do You Know," "Do You Care," "I Don't Care No More." I guess "Can't Wait Till Tomorrow Morning." It's just, those songs had a lot of angst within the lyrical context. That was no doubt to be directed towards that ex-wife of his.
yeah, that he was writing about his life,
He
basically.
was, yeah.
Well, let's stay within that vein and go to Peter Gabriel.
Oh yeah,
Oh
and
yeah.
Bone Thugs and Harmony collaborated with Phil Collins and they
Really?
made they made a home remix. Like they turned the song "Take Me Home" into a rap song, and then Phil Collins sang the chorus.
Wow.
That was in 2000 something.
Mm.
I think 2002.
Let me look it up there.
And while you're doing that, I'll start Peter Gabriel's number 10
The
for me is
song, the
Biko.
song "Home." Yeah, the song is called "Home."
Yes.
No surprise. I remember there was a rap group called PM Dawn that sampled the song "True" from Spandau Ballet, and in the video they featured Spandau Ballet's frontman, whose name escapes me, towards the end of the video there.
Oh, okay. I know one song from PM Dawn, "Set Adrift on Memory Bliss."
That's the one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
the one.
All right.
Okay, and then the next guy I got is Peter Gabriel.
Mm-hmm.
My number 10 is Biko.
Oh yeah,
It's a great song.
written about Stephen Biko, the anti-apartheid activist.
Number 9 is Red Rain.
From the album Soul.
My number 8 is Shaking the Tree.
Which also was an album with title of his greatest hits album there.
My number 7 is his cover of Strawberry Fields Forever.
Interesting. Didn't know he did a cover there.
Yeah, there's a couple albums out that are guys covering Beatles songs, and it varies who does it, but he's in it, and
Yeah.
a few others. Ambrosia covered Magical Mystery Tour. I
Yeah.
mean, there's some good stuff there.
Interesting.
Number 6 is Big Time.
Also from the album Soul from 1986.
Number 5 is Games Without Frontiers.
Oh yeah, that's the first song I heard from him. That came from the album known as the Melt album. What people don't realize is that his first 3 solo albums were all called Peter Gabriel. And when they got reissued by Geffen Records in the early 2000s, they decided to give it little title names. Like the first album was called the Rain album because he's sitting in the car while it's raining. The second album was called the Scratch album because he's making the scratches in midair. And also the third album, the Melt album, was where half of his face is melted out.
Yeah.
And all those, by the way, Hypnosis, the design, the album, the cover design group that I mentioned, they were the ones who did those covers, by the way.
My number 4 is Salisbury Hill.
Another good one there.
Number 3 is Shock the Monkey.
Oh yeah, which I understand is about vivisection, if I understand.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, and this came out years before Skinny Puppy would come out with their '88 classic Tester, which was about the same subject.
Yeah. And my number 2 is Sledgehammer,
Hmm.
which has got the famous video.
Oh yeah. And if it's to
And
say that because when that video became a big hit on MTV, every other video that Gabriel released had to top that video, top one
yeah.
another.
And my number 1 song by him is going to surprise you probably.
Yeah.
In Your Eyes. That song to me is phenomenal.
Yeah, which by the way was got its boost thanks to the movie Say Anything from 1989.
Yeah. But that is just a great song.
Hmm.
I'm a fan of Peter Gabriel's.
There we are. A lot of people. You
There's a
gotta.
song called "In My Eyes" by Stevie B.
That's not it.
Okay, that's a great song too.
And we're not talking about Stevie B.
All right.
Stevie B is a freestyle artist,
Yeah.
and we don't do
Yeah.
freestyle.
Okay.
And due to the lyric, and here's a story here about Shock the Monkey. Due to the title and the content of the video, the song is frequently assumed to be either an animal rights song or reference to the famous experiments by Stanley Milgram, described in this book,
That's not
Obedience to Authority. It is neither, though another Pete Gabriel song called We'll Do What We're Told from the album Soul does deal directly with Milgram. Gabriel himself described the song as a love song that it examines how jealousy can release one's basic instinct. The monkey is not a literal monkey, but a metaphor for one's feelings of jealousy. He also made mention that the song's lyrical motif was inspired by King Kong's lightning powers in the movie King Kong vs. Godzilla.
Wow.
And that's not the current Godzilla song that we have now.
No. We're going to kind of jump again a little bit.
Hmm.
Not terrible. Peter Frampton.
Oh, yeah.
My number 10 by him is Won't You Be My Friend? And I'm going to tell you ahead of time, a lot of this is going to come from his live album.
Hmm. Pam Frampton Comes Alive.
Yeah, the famous one.
Yep.
My number 9 is It's a Plain Shame. My number 8 is I Want to Go to the Sun. Number 7 is Doobie Wah.
Hmm.
Number 6 is Lines on My Face. Number 5,
Mm-hmm.
5, Baby I Love Your Way. My number 4 is I'll Give You Money.
Hmm.
Baby I Love Your Way was redone by UB40.
No. Will to Power.
Oh no, it was Inner Circle.
Hmm.
I think, or you.
Oh my God, Keith, you're bombing. And these are not scripts, by the way, Dr. Green.
No.
This is
I
Keith.
know. This is why we need to have Keith on these programs more, so he would learn.
Oh no, it's Big Mountain.
Big Mountain.
Yeah,
Yes.
they did cover. It's a reggae group that did cover their cover. You're gonna remember the Will the Power version. Had a. The Will the Power version also had mixed in Freebird from Leonard Skinner within this, and the idea of that was simply she longs for his way. She longs, but the man she loves is a Freebird, going everywhere he can.
That's interesting.
A true rebel, a Freebird, yay!
My number 3 is Something's Happening. My number 2 is Show Me the Way.
Yep.
And my number 1 is, to me, the iconic Peter Frampton song, Do You Feel Like We Do?
Oh man.
I mean, my top 10, I named 9 off the live album. I think it's pretty obvious I liked the live album.
Yeah, we all do. Everybody does. That's the one that put him on. That's what put him over.
Oh, yeah. Because if you hear the studio versions of most of those songs, you'll go like, it's okay.
Right.
But when you hear the live ones, it's like, oh, wow.
Yeah, because
When
the
do they
live,
call
because
it
the live,
Comes Alive?
because the live version brings out a lot more when you think about
Yeah.
it. There, you remember the Metallica Black Album? The producer that excuse me, Bob Rock, he was talking to the band Prayer to recording that album. He said, "You never have an album, but you need to put out a record that sounds displays your sound when you're playing live." You know.
Right. Oh, before we depart, do you want to do two more real quick?
Yes, we can do that. Yes, and we also got to get into Dave Ellison from Megadeth being booted out. There, definitely.
Okay. Well, let's do two more and then get into that,
Okay, gotcha.
which I can't contribute to that at all. Okay, my next guy is Dan Fogelberg,
Oh yeah,
and I really liked this guy,
yeah,
and we miss him.
yeah. He passed away. What year was it? In 2000s, I guess it was.
Yeah, it's been a while,
I know. I forgot. I forgot
but
the
he
year it was.
but he was one of the better mellow artists, I thought.
Yeah, I remember one of his tracks, "Longer," being played a lot. "Same Old Lang Syne," was a massive big hit.
Right.
"Heart
Okay.
Hotels" was a good one.
Yeah. My number 10 is Love Gone By. My number 9 is As the Raven Flies. My number 8 is his cover of Tell Me to My Face, which is an old Holly song.
Ah,
My number 7 is Sketches,
mm.
which, like I say, a lot of times when I tell you songs, they're deep cuts, but not always. Number 6 is Power of Gold.
Good song there. Which I guess he did with a guy named Tim Westenberg, who I guess is a flute player. I understand.
And Tim Weisberg, yeah.
Weisberg, yeah,
Yeah, and that's a great album, actually.
really interesting. I should probably look it up. What's the name of the album there?
Twin Sons of a Different Mother.
I see. I should definitely check it out on sometime on YouTube here.
Yeah. And my number 5 is a song called There's a Place in This World for the Gambler.
Mm.
My number 4 is Phoenix.
Title cut from the album of the same name.
Yeah. And my number 3 is his cover of an old Cascade song called Rhythm of the Rain.
Mm-hmm.
Great version, by the way.
Interesting there. I can imagine it would be.
My number 2 is Leader of the Band, which is a song that's a tribute to his father.
Yeah, I remember
Great
hearing
song.
I remember hearing about that as well.
And my number 1 is a song called Netherlands,
Mm.
which is a massive, massive type song. And I miss songs, I know. And there are other songs that belong on this, but I wanted to hold it down.
Yeah, I'm surprised The Longer isn't, or Heart Hotels, the one I mentioned earlier, is not on this list, because those are pretty good songs there, especially Heart Hotels.
They would have been at the bottom 5.
Oh.
They would have definitely been there. And I mean, like I said, I can name others. Same Old Lang Syne.
There was this one I remember they did it. I guess it was his only music video. I guess what's it called? The Fortune of Love, I think it was called. If I'm
God, let me think of the name. Power of Love. No, that's Huey Lewis.
No.
Fortune of Love. Lawyers in Love? No.
Okay, then
I'd have to look that one up.
Hogan.
Then there was Part of the Plan, which I should have had on my list.
Let's see here.
Language of Love.
Language of Love. Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, because I just looked at my list of songs that I missed, and Language of Love was there.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember that was his only music videos. I guess it came out in 1982, from what I remember.
I think that's right.
Yeah. And he passed away in December of 2007 from prostate cancer in his home in Maine.
Yeah. Dan Fogelberg was another one that was a phenomenal.
We're no longer talking about the 70s, right?
No, we're still in
the 70s.
No, we're still in the 70s there.
All right.
Basically, it's people that kind of started in the 70s, might have bled over to the 80s or 90s.
Yes.
Okay.
And my last one for today is Dave Mason,
Mm.
who basically, for the most part, started with Traffic,
Yeah.
had a solo career,
And was
and then went in Fleetwood Mac for an album or two.
yes, he played with them on an album called Time from 1994, but it was not the Fleetwood Mac that everybody knows by heart.
No, no, it wasn't a popular album.
No, it's just probably just
And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard most of these songs. Number 10 is So High, You Got Me Moving.
mm,
Number 9 I got is Warm Desire.
mm,
I'm taking it you haven't heard of these. Number 8 is Look at You, Look at Me.
yeah, which we know well.
Number 7 is Only You Know and I Know, which actually Delaney and Bonnie did it too.
Mm. And that's the one. And that's the one that says we just what's that? Dang gummit! The lyrics just went. Um, I'm trying to remember how it goes, but it's been so long since I heard it. It starts with
Well,
acoustic guitar.
yeah, you don't want to hear me sing,
All right,
but it's
neither do
basically
I.
Only You Know. It's basically Only You Know and I Know,
Mm.
all the love we've got to show, or something like that.
No, I think it's something else. It's like "Been Away."
Oh, that's not that song.
Yeah, I was thinking it's something else there, because that's one I often heard him a lot of times. There it came from an album he put out called "Alone Together."
I will probably mention that song, but I don't know that. Okay, number 6 I got is Every Woman. And number 5, You're There Somewhere. Baby Please.
Uh-huh.
You got me down on my knees, baby please.
Mm.
Or something like that.
All right.
Number 4 I got is Let Me Wrap You in My Warm and Tender Love.
Kind of like an Elvis thing there, though, with that title.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm trying to read my number 3. Mystic Traveler.
Ah.
And my number 2 is Seasons.
Mm.
Our Love Comes in Summer or whatever.
I see that.
My number 1 is a song that almost sounds Stevie Wonder. In fact, I think Stevie Wonder plays the harmonica in this song.
I believe
It's one
so.
called The Lonely One,
Ah.
which is,
Mm.
oh, somebody's yelling.
Yeah, I heard it as well. What's up, Keith? Is something happening there?
No, nothing. I'm just gonna do something real quick. I'll
Okay.
mute.
I'm going to take a leak. I'll be right back, guys. You and YR carry on for a couple of seconds there. Then we'll get into Dave Ellison there.
Oh, okay. I mean, I got lots more solo artists, but we hadn't got time to go over them today. Or at least I don't. So are you there or am I alone? Apparently I'm alone.
Hey, I'm here.
Oh, okay. I wasn't hearing you. You must have
Yeah, I
been
was
muted.
on mute.
Yeah, the way you came back in sounded like mute button went off.
Yep.
Yeah, like I said, there's a bunch more solo artists. There's a ton of them. And we hadn't got to the female ones. There's a lot of big ones there. I mean, you got like Linda Ronstadt, you got Joni Mitchell, Judy Collins, which I don't have a list for her. Carole King was also a phenomenal songwriter. But there's some good stuff there. And then, like I said, we still got male guys to do. Male guys. It's kind of redundant. You're on mute again, aren't you?
Yes, I am.
Oh, okay.
I'll stay off mute.
Okay. Not what. Well, we sure got some interesting people in the chat, don't we?
Yo, is Dr. Earl taking a shit?
No, I went
Nice.
to take a leak.
Uh,
Yeah, I got somebody saying here that even Monica can't watch this crap, yet he's here.
I'm back, guys. Man, you remember the phrase, my back teeth be floating by Cheech and Chong years back?
Yeah.
That's what it was the same for me, man. Man, I hadn't peed since I got home, man. Wow.
Yeah. And Dave's still not here.
Dave who?
Dave's not here.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I fell for that one.
That is probably my favorite Cheech and Chong bit.
Still, probably still love to this day.
Yeah. I mean, that one just floored me the first time I heard it,
Right,
and
so
still does.
all right. Okay. Now,
We're gonna cut off on the
list
solo
here.
artists and pick it up again for the next show because
Yeah.
I got more.
Okay, definitely. It will probably be this Thursday, and of course, YR and Keith, we got to get you cats on just as well. Okay. Now we also got to talk about Dave Ellison of Megadeth being released from Megadeth because of these. Let me read the situation here that's going on here. Dave Ellison, the co-founder and bassist of Megadeth, was accused of grooming an underage girl through messages and videos online. We've seen that scenario been played out by other celebrities just as well. Austin Jones, a YouTuber, that did this, and a couple others just as well. Now, on his Instagram account, since he had made private, Ellison denied the allegations, writing that the clips were quote-unquote adult private interactions that were taken out of context and manipulated to inflict maximum damage to my reputation, career, and family. He added that the videos were released with ill intention of a third party who was not authorized to have them or share them. He also shared a screenshot of a statement purported to be from the woman in the clips, who said that she was not underage at that time and that the account of the incident may have been taken out of context. Now, the woman also said in the statement that she was always a consenting adult. In the end, it was all consensual and online. Now, it was just announced earlier today that as a result, Ellison has been let go from Megadeth. And here's a statement from Megadeth from Dave himself. Dave Mustaine stated, quote unquote, "We are informing our fans that David Ellison is no longer playing with Megadeth and that we are officially parting ways with him. We do not take this decision lightly. While we do not know every detail of what occurred with an already strained relationship, what has already been revealed now is enough to make working together impossible moving forward. We look forward to seeing our fans on the road this summer, and we cannot wait to share our brand new music with the world. It is almost complete." Official word from David Mustaine, the co-founder at lead guitarist and frontman for Megadeth as of today. Now, who do you think would be the next bass player for Megadeth? There's some speculation possibly Jason Newsted, who along with Mustaine was in Metallica for a couple of years, or actually more than Mustaine was, I should say. There's a talk that possibly Newsted may be taking Ellison's place.
Did you hear the rumor Gene Simmons, perhaps?
Rumor about Gene
Wait,
Simmons?
I got a little bit of an article about this. Should I read it?
Yeah, go ahead.
The woman involved also came forward to deny the suggestion that she was underage at the time of the video calls took place, saying nothing inappropriate ever happened before that. It was all consensual. I'm not a victim and I have not been groomed in the slightest, as I was the one to initiate it. Megadeth had originally responded cautiously to the allegations, saying,
So, and
"We are."
listen, hold on, listen. Why the fuck are they firing him? She's 18. Like, I'm not understanding the story fully.
I don't know,
Why?
because I guess that perception, the public perception, that's how it is. When even though they may claim that was consensual, there's going to be others out there who is going to be speculating. Yeah, right. It's all bullshit. We know it's underage. Blah blah blah, and that's going to look down. That's going to come down hard on Megadeth altogether. This could cause a decrease in album and ticket sales. So they're trying, in a way, they're trying to
Yeah,
keep
but
the,
Dave Mustaine, no one cares about, like, no one else. They only care about Dave Mustaine. Like, that's Megadeth, you
yeah,
know?
yeah, it's
Or
true.
you think it'll
But
split
then
back?
again, Ellison was the co-founder, right? He did contribute a lot to the group's material there. And so, for example, years back, you remember when Twiggy Ramirez from Marilyn Manson's band, he got let go because of some rape allegations that came about where apparently he did something inappropriate with one of the members of Jack Off Jill, an all-female alternative group. If Manson were to continue with touring with Twiggy nowadays, there would be a lot of disgust among fans, especially the female fans, and especially now with Manson himself going on tour now amidst these other allegations of physical assault and abuse coming out now. There was one lady named Ashley Morgan was featured in a recent issue of People magazine detailing this whole thing there. 2 years of rape, and mental and physical torture. I mean, when you think about it, this can really ruin one's reputation.
Yep.
And if they were to continue with Ellison in the lineup there, despite all this going on, there would be a lot of people, hating on him. They would probably throw things at him. They'll probably boo his name when his name is mentioned into the crowd there. So in a lot of ways, removing him from the lineup is kind of like, though it's kind of like saving their reputation and their
Image control.
ass. Yes.
Right.
So you got to remember, they're trying to do this to save themselves. They probably do support Dave, but at this period, they can't have him in the lineup.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah. Remember, reputations are at stake here.
It's kind of like, Dave, we like you, but.
But until this whole heat blows over, we cannot have you within this group here.
Yeah,
Sad to say. Yeah, it is. Sorry to say there.
Probably pretty accurate assessment.
That's true. Yeah, so we'll have to wait and see who's the new bass player for Megadeth will be. There's a lot of speculation, but now I'm going to go off something here about Jason Newsted, because I heard that that he had some sort of some issues here with us, had some surgeries here. He had some surgeries there. Let me said. He had some surgeries on his shoulder. It took a 3.5 year to 4 year span, back and forth, left shoulder, right shoulder, right shoulder, with complete bicep tears and rotator cuff tears, very ugly rehab and therapy, painkiller addiction, the whole deal. There. And here's something else what he said here. Apparently what had happened was that during the years of headbanging and while on stage with Metallica, apparently what it was that he has neck problems because of all constantly whipping his head back and forth to the songs like, of course, Whiplash and other songs. He earned himself a reputation as a ferocious live performer with both Metallica and Flotsam and Jetsam during his 15 years with Metallica there. They never slowed down, and he brought it every night when you think about it there. It took a lot of time and a lot of 25 years of headbanging. I gave myself whiplash, and so throughout the years, doctors from all different languages and countries, they told me, no more doing that, no more spinning your head around, because it will mess up your neck. The bassist was the first advised to stop that 10 years ago before doing an album with his non-less metal band. He said he has nerve issues, tangles, mangles due to the damage that he has done to his spinal cord. He completely quelled the urge to rock and roll, but he says the issues have provided as good as excuse to pursue less sonically intense music as a means of expression. He's been currently doing a lot of more acoustic bass music. While it doesn't have the raw power of Metallica, he says it's no less meaningful. The juice is still the same, the energy is still the same, the amplifiers are a little bit smaller. So we'll have to wait and see if he does join Megadeth. He'll probably just have to stop headbanging, watch himself, just play along. Because anybody who watches saw Metallica with Newsted involved and watches those binge and purge clips and videos and stuff, no, he was all over the place, thrashing his head around, his hair everywhere, rah, 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 rah. He was fucking into it, man. But like a pro wrestler, something will happen along the way, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yep.
So well wishes to Jason Newsted on this issue here, and best of luck to Megadeth just as well on finding a new bass player to go back on the road there. And I think that's it for now, I guess, up till Thursday, I guess.
Okay. And we're going to do Thursday?
Yes, we will, absolutely. I get done at about 4:35 p.m. here. And
Okay.
definitely I'll get my equipment set up and we'll be ready to roll, definitely. And of course, Keith and
Okay.
YR, you're definitely welcome just as well, dudes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right.
Just so you guys kind of know, we're going to go with, well, let's see, Jackson Brown,
Mm-hmm.
Bruce Springsteen.
Yes.
Let's see who else we got here. Okay, Bob Seger's not a solo artist.
No. Well, he is kind of, yes. Well, kind of makes sense because he always has a Silver Bullet band with him. And the Bob
Seger system.
Yeah, which was years before that.
Yeah. So he's just used his name as the band's name.
Okay, yeah, definitely.
Rod Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
And there's another one that used his name as a band name, Robin Trower. But we'll do him when we do the others.
Absolutely.
We may do some female artists. I got Linda Ronstadt.
Yeah, we got to look into that just as well. There was a lot of them. Carly Simon included as well.
Joni Mitchell.
Yes.
Then they got like Harry Chapin and Harry Nilsson.
Yeah, and let's credit Harry Chapin being the one that was the first artist to really stand out against world hunger.
Yeah.
He was working on some sort of, he was a scene, I remember working with then President Jimmy Carter about, I guess, doing something about the other countries there. There was lacking in food.
Okay, and we may get to Joe Walsh because technically he was solo for a while.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
James Taylor.
Yep.
I'm kind of looking at my list. I was going to say Jeff Beck, but no, he never was solo.
Other than a couple of solo records, he did a few projects here and there with the Young Hammer group there.
Yeah. David Bowie.
Uh-huh. Definitely a great solo artist there. We still miss him.
Stephen Stills.
Oh, yeah. He released a couple of solo albums, including, we cannot forget his song, Love the One You're With, which, by the way, if you heard Luther Vandross's version, it's pretty damn excellent.
Yeah. Then we got Sammy Hagar.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. After Montrose and before Van Halen.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got Carly Simon, Carole King, Joni Mitchell.
Yep.
And like I said, I'm going to call the Carpenters a solo act because let's be honest, that was Karen Carpenter.
Yeah. Richard just played the piano and wrote the songs, and that's about it there.
Yeah, but she needed him. But the group was Karen Carpenter,
Yeah.
and
she'll,
he knew that.
yes, and let's not forget her skills as a drummer as well.
Yeah, actually, she started out as a drummer, was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
Okay, well that's it for me.
Okay, and we'll be doing this again this coming Thursday at the same time, same station there. Okay,
Yeah.
that'll be it for this afternoon, for tonight's show there. For YR, Keith Rebarber, Arknolia Strokebean, and myself, this is Arknolia and the Doctor, episode 40 of our Music Memory Series. Everybody
And it was a welcome thing for me to have Keith and YR on here.
Yes, definitely glad to do it again this Thursday. Definitely for Shizzle.
And thank you guys.
All right. All right. This guy's
All right.
still, all right there. Why are you still here, dude?
Oh.